Our institutions have become corrupt. Unconstitutional agencies are infringing on your rights. Your liberty was secured by strong men and women of yesterday. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We live in the age of disinformation and corporate propaganda. You're an American, born with unalienable dangerous. Stay blessed in the battle.
Hold on tight, Patriots. The road is going to be a bumpy one. These New World Order technocrats are hell-bent on controlling every aspect of human movement through a digital blockchain system. Learn the lost skills your grandparents had as we prepare for a planetary battle against evil globalists that want your soul. You're listening to the Dangerous Info Podcast.
All right, everybody. Yes, it is Thursday morning, December 4th, 2025. Man, we're so close to the end of the year, you guys. It is crazy, but welcome. Top of the morning to everybody out there. Rise and shine. This is episode number 240. Yes, I'll be here by myself and along with you guys live in the live chat. Outcast can't make it tonight, so he's in a meeting. So, who knows? He might show up at the tail end. But no pressure on him. He's got work to do. I understand that. And so do you guys. So welcome. It is a Thursday morning. I love these Thursday morning shows. Got my coffee here. So you guys might have your tea, your chocolate, whatever it is. Top of the morning to you guys. Welcome to the Dangerous Info Podcast. Lord bless this transmission and guide our intentions in this episode. Amen. That's what I'm talking about. So listen, we're going to be talking about a few different things today. Of course, I want to get you guys in the chats. I have a few things that, let me see here. Let me go to my notes because I put down some pretty good stuff for you guys. So it's wintertime here, right? Let's go on over to this new screen. We got a few new screens. There we go. A few new screens. Now we're looking over at the mountaintop at a fire pit with a coffee brewing, right? In all reality, it is cold here in Michigan. You know, we're southeast Michigan. We got about 5-6 inches of snow sitting on the ground. It has reached frigid temperatures overnight. And tomorrow night, I think Friday, we're supposed to go into single digits. So that's why I figured, why not talk about some winter vehicle preparation, some personal preparation stuff for the wintertime. Also, I have been getting a lot of questions from people out there talking about chickens and how the heck can we take care of our chickens in this cold temperature. Well, we're going to talk about that today too and get the, stop the water from freezing. So this show is a little bit different than the regular Monday night show. And you'll see that. We're going to try to go about an hour, see how that goes with your input and, accomplish a few different things. But we're trying to expand is what I'm saying, you guys. We're trying to expand the show out. Get out there just a bit more, get a better footprint, a bigger footprint out into the, in podcast sphere out there. So, welcome to the morning show. That's what I'm saying. So let me move this up a little bit for you, get this out of the way so I have room for some people to throw text in. So Marie Locke, she says, good morning from Grosse Pointe, Michigan. Yes, just shoveled her snow. Oh, yeah. It snowed again last night, so we got about another inch. Not enough for the plow trucks to go out, but just enough to make it exciting and interesting. And the roads definitely got slippery overnight. So, hello, you guys. Welcome to this new screen. You're going to see a lot of new screens and everything. So, I'm glad to have you guys here. And again, if you guys are able to join me today, I know that it's during the day and it's tough for people to get away from work and all these things. But this is the time that I have to be able to provide a little bit more stuff for you. And when Outcast comes on, next show or whatever it is, we're going to try to do this Thursday show as much as we can, depending on our on our schedules. So that's what it comes down to. These schedules are off season. The summertime when I'm busy, I probably won't be able to do this as much, but it's all trying to get to where we can do this as a job, as a everyday thing is what I'm talking about. So, we'll see how it goes, but, welcome you guys. I'm looking at the chats. I'll be looking at everybody over here in the Rumble Rants. I'll see, if there's any Rumble Rants. I see Hicktown Honey. What's going on? I see Music Lover, Ms. Melody, Marie Locke again. She's out there. Pill.net is going up. So we're live there too. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. So good to see all you guys in here. And I'm just taking a look over everything before we get started. So in my cup right now, I'm drinking this coffee, and we have a barista in the house, but I don't think she's here right now. If she's not here, Ice Sun, right? Ice Sun, I believe that's who it is the barista, the what do we call it? Resident barista. So, Ms. Melody, yeah, thank you. I enjoy the morning shows. It gives me something to listen to while I'm working instead of working, right? I get it. No, I get it. Music Lover, she says that's, let me see. Oh, yeah, that's pretty low. It was low single digits here this morning near Milwaukee. Listen, it's going to be getting cold, I think, for extended a few days here. So, there's a lot of stuff that is going to be, need your attention around around the, I want to say homestead, but not everybody lives like a homestead, all right? So some of us have things to take care of on the outside. We all have vehicles to take care of, right? We all have something that we need to prep ourselves for. And that's what I want to get into first, starting today, this morning, is we have two ways about prepping, right? Vehicle prep and personal prep for the wintertime. And I've got so many stories over the years from, traveling, while snow plowing, because I'm usually in the plow truck in the wintertime. I'm in a big plow truck, and I can, I travel all these roads locally, and I see so many things that happen, so many mistakes that people make, as the same mistakes that I did when I was younger. And now I'm more capable, right? I'm more capable. I have more capable equipment to help people as I see them when I go by. If I have time, I'm going to stop. And again, this year, we're trying to get to our jobs. This during a snowfall, our routines, our schedules are very tight, meaning, certain, depending on the customer, whether it's a commercial or subdivisions or parking lots, whatever it is imperative that we are there at the time to get things cleared at this time that they open, right? And so there takes priority on these different contracts of what we're doing. Now, I'm not doing road commission stuff. No, I do subdivision roads and residential streets and commercial lots, right? So there's a mix. It's a good mix of things that I take care of. And so depending on when the snowstorm hits, depending what's going on, is when the way we set our routes. On the weekend routes, our commercial stuff is not priority, right? Obviously, because they're closed. But if our it all depends. So that's what I'm saying. So we shift every time, but usually we're getting out there at 2 in the morning, because we're trying to get as much work we can get done before the sun comes up. Hicktown says everyone hates how much stuff I keep in my truck. I'm like you. I'm like you will be. Wait, I'm like you, beheading. I'm like you. You'll be thankful we need it. Yeah. Okay. I got you. Yep. I carry so much stuff in my truck too. Overabundance of things. Cause you know, you never know when you come across somebody that might need something that you have. And, you know, gloves, for example, I've got so many pair of gloves, cheap ones too. And, I've given my gloves away to people before. I mean, even here at the house, we had a delivery last year from a, FedEx, maybe FedEx or Jungle website, Amazon. So one of them, and you know, it was cold out just like this. And I remember the girl got out to deliver, whatever the package was, had to go to the door, but I had a fire going out here. It was cold that day. I had a fire going outside. I was burning brush and things, and, you know, had the chickens out, had everything going, right? She pulls up the driveway, and I noticed that she's digging through boxes, you know, in the truck. You can kind of see in her vehicle, and she has no gloves. And it's, you know, I'm telling you, it's in the teens. It's cold. You know, there's ice, you know, frost on the windows and all that. And when she jumps out with the package, I said, where's your gloves at? Don't they provide you with gloves? And she's like, oh, no. And she's like, it's okay. And she's shaking her hand like this and, you know, blowing into her fist and trying to keep it warm. I said, this is crazy. So the gloves that I had on that I was, you know, using for the fire and all that, they were clean, but they were warm. Again, cheap gloves that I keep around because I keep gloves everywhere, you guys, everywhere. It's almost like, what else do I keep everywhere? Oh, glasses. You know, my shop glasses. I keep these shop glasses everywhere. Wherever room I'm at, there's another set of shop glasses. So anyway, I said, here, you need these gloves more than I do right now. And she was so happy, thankful that, you know, that she had some gloves and keep her hands. I could tell, you know, her hands were, she had them in her pockets. She was trying to drive. You know how those doors are always open and they're going up and down these roads. So, you know, who knows? She was in and out, in and out. Anyway, that's what I'm saying. If you're prepared, like some of you out there in your vehicles for the winter, that's key. You're already ahead of the schedule. So let's get into this list that I have come up with. And a lot of this is I made because of experience, because I've been through a lot of these things, right? Let me switch this over here. I have my roll call up. So I'm trying to check the chats while you guys are doing your thing here. Yeah, it's better to have and not need than to need and have it. Yeah, 1 is none, 2 is 1, and 3 is 2, something like that. There's always that rule. I forgot what it is right now, but you know, that's what we're talking about is winter vehicle prep first. So let me get that up on the screen. Winter vehicle preparations. Here I printed it out, look, old school, and I have it up on the screen. So I'm going to take it. Yeah, 1 is none and 2 is 1, but 3 is 2. Yeah, for sure. That's what I say about firearms and all these things. So winter vehicle preparation kit, you guys. This is what is essential for your cold climate drivers. You live in the cold climate. Marie Locke says Facebook keeps freezing. Well, I haven't checked that yet. Over here, let me see. Well, we're out there on YouTube also. If you have to get on YouTube, and also Rumble. So if that doesn't work, or pill.net and Twitch. So hopefully your Facebook catches up. Hit that refresh, Marie. It might help you out a little bit. All right. So let me see here. The winter vehicle prep. First things, and this is what I did last week, is tires. I put new tires on my truck because it needed. Now, these plow trucks, if you think about what these trucks are doing, we're always pushing snow on, it's usually pavement, and these tires are spinning like crazy. So we burn through tires, like quicker than normal driving. So this is a third set of tires, including the factory set. I had them, replaced once and then just now. So these ones, I get the rated tires. These are heavy load tires. So they take a beating, but they can't stand up to spinning on pavement. Nothing can, right? So tires and maintenance. So you guys want to make sure if you're out there, you don't, look at the wear marks, the little wear bars in between the treads going around. You'll see those every now and then. on your treads. If you get down in there, some people use the coin method, the quarter method. And if you see George Washington's head, when you put it down in between the treads, if you could still see his head, it's you should be covered his head is what I'm saying on that. You'll know what I'm talking about if you look it up. But anyway, get those tires. If you can afford new tires right now, get them. You want to have nice tread because there is such a big difference. And I can notice when I'm doing this stuff in the truck, like right now, the tires, it takes a lot more for them to spin under pressure, right? To spin, on the pavement because they're grabbing so good. But in a few months from now, maybe next season, they're going to spin a lot easier because they're losing their grip, right? They're losing their traction and they're starting to get flatter and flatter across the surface. Smoother is what I'm saying. Smoother. Right now they're perfect, so they're real grippy. But it doesn't take long for these things to get a smoother surface, and then they get slippery. That's natural. So check your tires, right? Maintain proper tire inflation. If you need to rotate them, get it done right now because why wait until it gets even colder into January, February? Think about that stuff. Number 2 is fluids and lubricants. You guys should always be checking on your lubricants, right? Oil is the number one thing, the most important thing in your vehicle, in any vehicle, in any engine. Is the heartbeat is the fluids, the oils. So check those. Make sure you get your engine coolant taken care of. Just a quick checklist of everything, right? Number 3 is battery and electrical system. Now your meter might tell you that your system is doing good. Check it. Some vehicles have the dummy lights, so you can check those dummy lights out. But if you suspect something and it's acting funny, get your vehicle taken care of. The electrical system, get it looked at. Let me see here. It's the cold cranking amps that you want to check. Because when it gets really cold, and here's another thing about these electrical vehicles too, these EVs, there's going to be a lot of issues. There already are. When those temperatures get that cold, it's harder on everything, right? We all know that stuff growing up. Here's one tip too. If you have a weak battery and you know that you need to replace it, but you're not ready to replace it yet, depending on where you park your car at nighttime, usually our wind is coming out of the west, northwest, north, that area in the winter, right? So try to park your car so the engine, the front of your car, is not facing that harsh, cold wind. Okay. Ideally, if you can't get into a garage or some sort of inside location, get it up against, tuck it up, behind a fence, solid fence or a building or some sort of a wall or even trees. Just get that front end away from pointing west and north during the winter time. That just helps it just a little bit more. Ask me how I know. I had, my old vehicles back in the day, they were really touchy like that. I had a 66 Plymouth Fury long time ago. And this was late 80s. Yeah, when I had this car, and that car did not like the cold, you guys. It would not. So, I could park it in the same place, but if I turned it around one night and it's, I have the back end facing the west and north, it would start. I had it turned around with the front end facing the north and west, it would not start the next morning. So that car was really, it didn't like it. So that just helps. Even these newer cars here, that cold wind in those extremes, you don't want to be out there stranded in the morning trying to get to work. Sometimes what I've done before is, in case of an emergency, I had to throw a blanket in there and put a light, just a regular light bulb. Didn't even take a heat lamp, just a light bulb. There's just that little bit of heat in that area will help that engine crank over a little easier. Or take it in, have them check it all out. Last thing we want to do is get you guys out there and get you stranded somewhere. Clean your air filters. It might be a little cold for you guys, but I just did that earlier this fall. Clean the air filters. You have the cabin air filter inside, and you have the one on the outside. Try to get them both. Not just the one on the outside under the hood, but there's usually in these newer vehicles, you have all these different, filters. So check into those. Emergency supplies. So this is where we're going to start getting into personal stuff, personal things that you want to carry in your car, in your vehicle. It's going to help. I mean, things like blankets and extra clothing, some non-perishable foods. I mean, now we're talking, something that you're going to have in a bag. First aid kits, flashlights, emergency flares and reflectors. I mean, I'm required by law to have some of this stuff in my truck. I've got to have the fire extinguisher. I've got to have the cones. Plus I carry a lot more. I mean, I'm almost like an all around, I carry, we'll get to it. I carry toe straps and all these things too, but we'll get to all that stuff, and vests and these things. So you consider adding your traction aids like sand, cat litter. That stuff actually works, you guys. Tire chains, you're probably not in the mood for doing tire chains. You can't drive with them long ways. They're just made for getting out. Tire chains are usually made for those big semi trucks and not going over X amount of speed. So every now and then you might see a semi truck somewhere trying to get somewhere with the chains on one set of their tires. That's their main drive tires that they're chaining up. So that's just to get them through a slippery situation. Sometimes on a farm, we'll throw them on tractors and leave them on tractors all winter. But they're not meant for speed. You can't do that, right? So let me go over here and check, see what you guys are talking about. Yeah, music lover. She just ignores the cabin filter behind the glove box. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in there. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, a light bulb can be a heat source. You can keep a small first aid kit in an Nalgene bottle, keeps it protected, and gives you a water reservoir. It does, yep. And I'm not sure if I'm going to get into my get home emergency bag in this episode, but it's always in the truck. You've heard me, you've heard Outcast. We've talked about our bags and the things that we keep in, and we will rotate what's in them in and out from winter to summer. Just a little bit, there's just some things that need to come out, but not everything, right? Let me see. I'd also keep your car preps in container with a lid. I don't know how, but yeah, squirrels and mice and all that stuff, they will definitely get in and find all your stuff. It's crazy how these little animals can get into so many things, so many, nooks and crannies. Now I've been fighting with this one that's in my barn right now. I'm trying to catch it, and it keeps getting away. This thing, I don't know if it's a squirrel, if it's a chipmunk or a mouse, whatever it is in the barn. But it's a wily coyote is what I'm saying. So let's see here. Let's get back to it now. Yeah, I think we already went over the oil changes, right? We did that. Warning lights. If you have any warning lights going on, a lot of those warning lights can be silly stuff related to like CO2, the sensor. CO2 sensors, those things just really tick me off. All this emission stuff that was put on because of the government regulations, into a spot that's very difficult to get to. So if you have a light, go to your local place, whatever service, AutoZone, Muffler Man, whatever it is that you use. Dealerships, you could do that too, but man, dealerships are top dollar. It's best to find a local garage or something that you can trust, that you guys like, that you can build some sort of a personal relationship with. I suggest that if you can find somebody like that. So try that route first and see if they can help diagnose what the your trouble light is, engine light. If it's just the CO2, sometimes you can get away with putting this Rizzoline or a CO2 catalytic converter liquid in there. Sometimes it'll clean that up and your light will go off. You know what's funny? We just figured this out with our daughter's car. It'll throw a light, right? For her, I get in it and drive it. It won't throw the light. And, so I'll keep on taking it and, trying to get it to throw the light for me. And it will not throw a light for me. Yesterday, it came back on. So, I had her take it to one of the local shops up here to run a diagnostic on it. They do it for free. and they give you the printout, and it's, again, hers is saying the O2 sensor. So it's like, all right, get it back here. I'm going to put the, we'll try this first because it's the easiest method is putting the cleaner in there. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes it'll burn that stuff off. Basically, it's just like the sensor gets dirty on the inside. And if you can't clean it off, then it will throw a light because it can't work properly because it's dirty on the inside. Sometimes they just fail. If any of you are familiar with thermostats in a furnace, that little thing that sticks up and the pilot light hits it and it tells the furnace whether to turn on or not. Well, it's kind of works the same way. It's just kind of like that dummy little signal. So if it gets dirty, it's going to throw a light. So if you can luckily or hopefully you can get it to shut off by throwing the cleaner in it. If not, then it's got to come out and be either cleaned by hand or just replaced. And they're cheap, but sometimes they're a real pain to do, especially when it's like this outside. This temperature is horrible for that stuff, right? So, all right, that's probably enough about that. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Music Lover says, I was camping last year and usually keep food and trash overnight, and I woke up to hear something scabbing around in the bumper. There were lots of... There was holes chewed in the trash bag. Yeah, it was Sasquatch. Sasquatch did that. Bigfoot is what I'm saying. So, play the flute for him. He'll like the flute. He'll calm down. All right, let's see. I have vehicle storage here, but I already got into that about parking it in the front end and all that stuff. Let's see. Oh, yeah, the brushes and things. Now, are you the kind of people, if you park outside like I do, and my truck is tall, so a regular scraper and a brush just does not work for me, right? I have a separate broom. I actually have a shop broom that I broom off the truck with. That way I can kind of reach most of it. And my wife's vehicle, it's a tall vehicle like that too. So these little scrapers and the little brushes do not work for me, just because I can't reach the vehicle where it's just too tall. So... And that's factory tall. It's nothing I did, right? That's just how these bigger vehicles come. So I would suggest at least putting your ice scraper, snow brush, shovel, whatever it is, in your car. Now, when it comes to shovels, think about what you're trying to do. Now, I shovel so much all the time. I'm shoveling paths all over the place. I shovel for chickens. I shovel for clients. I shovel... when I'm plowing, I shovel here at the house for people to get to their vehicles. There's so many different ways to shovel. Now, think about this before you guys go and buy a shovel. You have pusher shovels. That's typically what I use. They're those wide ones and they're half round or quarter round. Those are pushers. That means you're pushing the snow out of the way. Okay. Then you have those big scoop shovels, and those get heavy, and scooping is very difficult to do. And that's the difference. Now, I have wet and heavy. It doesn't matter what kind of broom, or what kind of shovel you have, it's going to be wet and heavy, right? But it's always a little easier if you're just pushing instead of lifting and carrying and throwing. But think about what you need. Now, to get unstuck, if your vehicle gets stuck, the push broom is not what you really typically want. Because you need a broom or a brush that's going to go down in there, grab the snow and pull out. Where a push broom just kind of pushes it, but you can push underneath the car, if you had to. But to get the tracks in front of your tires cleared out, you typically want some sort of a version of a pickup style scoop broom, shovel. Okay. Broom off the car. Yeah, I'd get it all done. Get it all done before you get on the road. I get behind so many vehicles and the tops aren't done, and you don't want to be behind all that because they're just leaving the chemtrails all over behind the car, right? It's crazy. You don't want all that. So do you guys think, in the chat, let me know. I've gone over all this stuff on pretty much for the car. What do you guys think? Yeah, roof racks on the cars. They're super fun to get the snow out. I know, yeah. What you can do with that, oh boy, just do the best you can with the broom, with the big broom. Inside the racks, My wife's car, she's got those racks and all that stuff. There's some of it, if you don't have time to get those out, well, they'll come out going down the road, right? But yeah, this blowers, these little blowers, sometimes they work. Backpack blowers, which are super loud and all that stuff, they work for sidewalks. I've done it before. Ask me how. I had crews out there using backpacks to clean sidewalks off. It all depends on the snow, though. If it's that wet, heavy snow, the blowers don't work as well. But if it's that light, fluffy stuff that's a couple inches, that the blowers work great. Milwaukee, I also have a Milwaukee battery, blower. If you have a light, if it's really cold out, you use that's when we get our light snowfalls. And those blowers will blow off that snow. It's great, and it's quiet because it's you're using your little battery operated system. So think about that stuff. Again, with the vehicles being cold inside, and you have those little batteries, you want to somehow top it off. Now, in my truck in the back, I have in the back seat there, I have a system back there where I can plug things in. So yeah, I have Milwaukee batteries. I keep things plugged in so they're always charging when the truck is running. All right. For me, that works great. That way I have some tools and equipment that stays in there, and the batteries stay topped off along with the tools that I need, and just in case. Yeah, the people that drive around, Music Lover, with several inches of snow on top of the cars, usually what happens, we've all seen it before, when the car gets warm and the heat rises, obviously, it creates a little tiny warm area underneath that snow that's on the top of the car on the outside. And it turns to ice. And then all the snow that's on top of that thin layer of ice, well, the wind will catch that thing, and we've all seen it, that big flip of all that snow, that sheet of snow come off, right? I've been behind some of those things, and that's scary because you don't want them things hitting you. I mean, that could take out your windshield. Just stay away from them cars. Just get back a little bit or get in the other lane, whatever it is. But yeah, those people, apparently they didn't have time to clear their car off enough, right? So, all right, let's go over here. Now, we did winter vehicle prep, right? That was, pretty much taking care of your car. Now, I'm talking about personal items now inside the car, things that you're going to want to take. And there's a few examples that I have, kind of like the one where I gave the gloves to the Amazon driver girl. Here we go. Number one, this is for your personal items, clothing and accessories. You always want to keep a pair of boots insulated boots in your car, waterproof insulated boots with good traction to prevent frostbite and maintain footing in a snowy or icy conditions, because that's what you're going to be in the wintertime. It always happens, right? There's a pair of extra boots in my truck, old work boots. I'll keep them in there. Gloves. I can't tell you how many packs of gloves I have in there. Not just for me, but for other people. Blankets. Sometimes you got to lay out in the snow. I've done it a million times. But I have several jackets in there, coats, socks. You got to have some thick socks. I wear these wool blend socks. I try to get as 75 to 80% wool socks that I can. I don't like all that synthetic blend stuff. But those things are nice. I'm telling you, Bass Pro Shop, they sell some, I forgot the company who does it. But if you read the labels on your wool socks when you're going to get them, most of them are going to say synthetic blend, and wool will be listed down below, further down in the ingredients list, right? You want to get the ones where wool is at the top of that ingredients list on the package there. The only ones that I can find in stores these days is, like I said, at Bass Pro Shop, they have, I think, a 75 or 73% wool sock, and it'll come in different lengths. Heights. That's where I get mine. It's hard to find 100% wool, very hard. And you got to find old used ones at, estate sales and stuff like that. So, but I really enjoy having the wool socks. Yeah. They can be itchy a little bit here and there, but not always. Right. Let me see. Insulated winter gloves or mittens. Yeah, Ms. Melody, thank you. Yeah, they are wool and have a lifetime guarantee. Yeah, it's hard to find those things, man. And but you appreciate it when you have them. I mean, if you have, your grandparents, if they have some old wool socks, get them cleaned up, wash them, put your good smells on them, and use them. I mean, those things are great to have to have in your system or your pack or around the house even. I mean, I like wearing my wool socks all the time. Insulated winter gloves and mittens. Mittens are warmer than gloves because your fingers are all together inside there, keeping that heat source in the middle. Gloves, of course, you can do things with gloves, individual fingers. You can actually, if you're going to be trying to do something with, you got to grab something, right? Tools or whatever it is, or trying to get out or grab your purse, grab your packages, whatever. There's a use for both. Ms. Melody says you can get darn tough socks on Amazon on their website. Darn tough. Let me go look at this. You guys want to take a ride with me real quick? Let's look at darn tough. So this is kind of cool here. Darn tough. Looks like they're out of Vermont. Here, let's switch. I want to show you guys. Here we are. Winter vehicle prep, and we have some darntough.com. Now, of course, yeah, these people aren't I don't know them. I just learned about them. Ms. Melody, thank you so much. Let's see. She has Darn Tough out of Vermont. It's darntough.com. And it's socks. It says cotton kills the vibe. Merino nails it. So it looks like they have a lot of socks. Obviously, we have nothing to do with them. I see why you like them, because they have all these fancy printing and everything on them, right? Gifts for her, gifts for him. Sock gift sets. Do they have wool socks is what I'm looking for. And if they have wool, what is, let me type it in here. Wool socks. Wool. Oh, here we go. All right. Wool socks. Now I wonder if it'll tell me. So here's a pair of $26. You see that? The men's heavy or John Henry boot midweight work sock. That's similar to what the stuff I wear is. But, I would like to see materials. Let's see that. Merino wood. So merino wool. See, it says 332 of these things. Does it tell us actually the percentage of wool? Are they 100%? I don't know. We'll have to check into that. Christmas is right here, you guys. So think about these for the wintertime. There's there's new colors. There's, they even have free shipping on all orders, it says. Wow. Well, thank you, Ms. Melody, for talking about darntoughsocks.com. That's pretty good. There's a lot of different designs in there, all kinds of crazy stuff, and you guys might like that. So awesome. I'd like to know more about their makeup, if they're 100% wool or what they are. All right, let's get back to this. Warm hat or headband. Now the headband thing, I don't like. Ms. Melody says they are worth the price. They are all wool and have lifetime guarantee. Awesome. Well, I know what's going on my list. That's good. TBA 369, merino wool is good wool. It's a nicer blend of wool too. Yeah. Is the whole sock made of merino wool? That's what I want to know. I think the ones that I have are. I'll have to look at that package, but look at that gift giving guide is what I'm saying. All right. A warm hat. Everybody talks about how you lose heat. The most of your heat you lose is out of your top of your head, and that's true. I know when I'm out there working and we're doing shoveling sidewalks and plowing everything, usually I end up in just a flannel. all my coats are off. Think about this. We're in these trucks for 12 hours at a time. The trucks never shut off, and we are in, out, nonstop, right? At these job sites. So, eventually we just get hot. So typically what we have on is a hat. Like I wear baseball hats with this like trucker style so I can breathe, vent. Because when I do put on my hat, my winter hat, the stocking hat cap, get too hot, even in a t-shirt. So I can regulate my heat very well with between t-shirt / flannel and either a baseball cap or a wool hat. TBA 369 says Found one on Amazon. Here's the composition. A knit with 63% wool, 35 nylon, 2 lycra. Yeah, it doesn't stretch too much, so you need to make the music lover. So we're doing an episode on dangerous gifts Monday night. Huh. Don't know. It's good. Might be a good idea. All right. So headbands, you guys, I don't know. I don't use headbands. To me, they don't, they're more like a sweatband to me. Just keeping sweat out of my eyes. I don't know. I'm not a fan of wearing headbands in the winter. That maybe that's a chick thing. I don't know. Baklava or neck gaiters. Yeah, those things are great. I've got a few of those, and I keep those. I don't wear the baklava or the neck gaiter, but I keep them in my pack and in my truck, because if you get in a really bad situation, you have to cover up your neck, maybe your face, all but your eyes, burqa looking. Then I can see where that would come in, but I'll use those. Those are extremes. Okay. Those are, if you're in the extreme. So I would say, yes, put either a baklava, baklava is tasty. Balaclava, or a neck gaiter in your pack, in your bag, because you never know if you might need to cover up, tighter than in the extreme event that you're somewhere and you're off the road, right? And it's really cold out. Insulated winter jacket. I think that everybody's probably has one of those in their pack, or wearing one. Obviously you got to have it. I like the ones that have the lining in there that will not allow the air to come through. I have some jackets that I don't wear when it's cold because it does allow that air to sneak in, which I like in certain temperatures. But in the cold, don't mess around with it. You want something that's actually insulated, going to block that temperature, waterproof type, breathable sometimes. So check that out. Extra clothing. Sometimes you want to keep extra clothing in your vehicle. Again, that goes to socks. What if somehow you're I don't know. I think worst case scenario on this stuff, because I've seen the worst case scenario on these things and I've been in them quite a bit. But if you're in a situation, you're traveling, you're going somewhere, it's dark, it's winter, you're off the road. All of a sudden you got to walk and you will sweat from all this walking. You might have to change something. Who knows? You might come across somebody who is somehow got wet, whether it was in a lake or whatever it was. Oh, Darren's there. He says, I've got more winter get up in my truck than my closet. Yeah. Now see, this guy, Darren, he's also a snowplow driver. So he knows what I'm talking about. We over prepare for stuff in the winter in our trucks. Probably summer too, a little bit, but right now my stuff is so loaded down. We have these seats that come up in the back, and we have these compartments in these trucks. So there's so much stuff in there. Maybe one day I'll have to take a picture of it and throw it on the Instagram so you guys can see what's in there. But I'm talking anything from jumper cables to whistles, portable radios, flares, right? Again, there's some things that we have to carry with us. I have all these straps. I have one bin in the back seat under the passenger back seat that's dedicated to recovery. So I have straps in there. I might have a chain or two in there. I have my another pair of gloves in there. There's a hammer. There a clevis. Everything it's going to take to get a vehicle or my own truck out of the situation that it's in. Right. Let me see. Water. Yeah. You know what? Water bottle is number 3 on this list after the visibility and communication with, I skipped that. Flashlights and headlamps. Make sure you have flashlights and headlamps in your vehicles, right? Because if something's going to happen, it's going to happen in the dark. It always does. And you can't avoid it. Now, I'll keep at least 2 different kinds of flashlights with me. One kind is the kind that stays in the truck. There's a compartment that, with a USB charger, there's up front that holds things. And in there is, I have 2 flashlights that charge constantly. They're on charge right now. So those are the rechargeable type. Then you have the other kinds, which are battery operated. I like to have both. Think about this. When you come across a battery that's not charged, then what good is it? You have to wait for it to charge. Okay, if you come across, so if your backup is a charged up with batteries, that one's going to work. So I always have two. Sometimes you're going to have a battery that has dead batteries in it, Energizer, Duracells, whatever it is. But luckily you had one that was plugged into your lighter, your charger, whatever it is. So have two, because one will plan on one being dead. Music Lover, there's something going on. Can you take care of that on Twitch, please? Let me see. Whistle. Yeah, whistle's important. I have a whistle. Sometimes you might have to make a super loud noise, whether it's for your safety, help, attention, some sort of a case of emergency. You need to attract attention and signal for help. Okay, do that. A portable radio. I've got these little radios, and again, I should have brought them in, but these little, I don't know, that you pull the antenna up, little radio, you get AM, FM, you get, I think there's a NOAA site channel on there. So you can get, you get information is what I'm saying. If all else fails, also those take a little battery, right? Battery operated, stay informed about the weather conditions, road closures, emergency updates, all these things. It's all going to help. Yeah, bear spray. I like bear spray a lot. Bear spray and a pistol. Those go really well together. What I also like too, a little bit more than bear spray, I think, is wasp and hornet, because you can get those ones that go 25 feet. So they'll go a pretty good distance. I'm not sure how far bear spray goes, but yeah, they're all a must. Let me see. Hydration and nutrition. Now, in my pack, I keep water bottle. There's two water bottles. I don't drink out of water bottles, but I have two in there for emergency use, and they stay in there. They've been in there for a few years. I should probably change them out. They will freeze up in the winter and then thaw back out. I've never opened them, and luckily I haven't had any of them break, or crack, right, in my truck. But there's two in there for emergency situation that I never will drink unless something happens and we have to have it. Yeah, the bear spray, 20, 30 feet. Yep. Wasp and hornet too. So either, I think bear's probably stronger, but, depends on what you're hitting. But, let's see here. Back to the, water. Most of the water I keep is in one of these metal containers. It's a little bit bigger than this one. I think it holds 32 ounce. And it's got the handle on it. I really like that. That stays with me every day because I drink a couple of those every single day. So I always have water with me. There's always, now we're getting into the survival prep stuff, and I really don't want to, but even though that stuff is in my truck, the straws, the life straws, okay, I have those too. And I don't, haven't come across that situation yet where I needed those, but it's there just for in case. But again, that's a different pack. That's a different, even though it's in the truck, it's still, we'll keep that underneath a different pack. Now, a tarp or a poncho. Now we're getting into emergency shelter situations. Okay. I can moderate from the app. All right, good. Talking about Music Lover. There's somebody she got to take care of on this. Trolls. Not a troll, but more of a, what do you call that? Music Lover. That's not a troll. That's sales or something. I don't know. All right, let's go on. Emergency shelter and insulation. So I do not carry a sleeping bag in my truck, even though a lot of people recommend it. Now I have blankets, big blankets in there, but a sleeping bag, rated for cold temperatures, can provide insulation, warmth, and if you become stranded overnight. Now, I do have one in my get home bag. Okay, that's in there. Yeah, thanks for the bots. That's what they are. Emergency blanket. You can use those Mylar ones, a lightweight reflective blanket to retain body heat and protect against the cold. Those little Mylar ones, they'll come into like a little tiny, almost like a wallet size or a phone size little kit. Those things are great. maybe a one-time use deal, but they're cheap enough. You can get a whole bunch of them. So those are great to use. I like those. Yeah, those, I've used them before, those Mylar ones. They do reflect the heat back in there, especially if you throw, a jacket or another blanket or a beach towel or something over top of it. Those things help. They're a little loud, but you're in a situation where you're going to need that stuff, so they're crinkly, it's crinkly. It's like, moving like this, like plastic stuff, right? That's what it's like, those Mylar things. But they're good to keep in the bag. I like that. Let me see. Also, we have, I'm just checking a text. Sleeping bag, emergency blanket, tarp and poncho. Very important about a tarp and poncho. Those, that you can create a makeshift shelter if you had to, or protect against snow and wind. Now that's the one right there. Yeah, no, don't wear any of that stuff hunting. You, of course. The tarp and the poncho. Now I've used these before too, not for blocking wind, but for throwing underneath a vehicle and sliding underneath there. So that way you're not getting all that snow down your neck, into your back and all that. That's happened before, and that's the worst thing. So a small tarp or a poncho, those things work great. And actually a poncho is even better because you can throw the hood on without putting the thing on. Just throw the hood on and lay on your back, and you can pull yourself underneath a vehicle. I've done that before because I had to hook it, whether it's hooking a chain or hooking a clevis or a soft shackle, whatever it is, to get a car out of the way. I've done that a lot. So, yeah, Mylar are, yeah, Mylar's good. The music lovers talking about Mylar shielding from thermal cameras. Yeah, but you have to tarp them up so you're not touching them and putting body heat on them. Okay, so those are very well. You flip them over, and they're good secret stuff. So, anyway, get your tarp, get your poncho. If the wind is somewhere where it can get you, then you're going to want that, a tarp up like that. And you can string that between trees, which leads us to having some rope in the vehicle. And yes, I do have rope in the vehicle. And it's usually 550 paracord. So I'll have 10, 20 feet of that always with me inside there. But again, I don't want to get into opening up my get home bag. This is, again, winter vehicle prep. Tools and supplies that you might need to have in your vehicle with you for the winter cold. It's very important. Multi-tool or a pocket knife. Now, every day I have Leatherman. I think I have a Leatherman Wave, and I always have a pocket knife. There's pocket knives everywhere. I keep one in my, the one I'm carrying right now is a little buck knife. I think a buck 90. Yeah, it's a locking back. So I really enjoy having those in there. So you always want to have a multi-tool or a pocket knife in your winter vehicle prep bag. Versatile, for cutting ropes, opening packages, tightening screws, just whatever. Duct tape. I prefer Gorilla Tape because it's a little stronger. It works better and it sticks better in the cold. Okay. Zip ties. You always got to have zip ties, all different sizes. If they're too small, you can put a couple together and make it fit. Shelly Pollock, what's going on? How you doing? Trash bags. Trash bags, they can serve as a makeshift poncho, ground covers, or liners for your sleeping bag or your blankets, things like that. You can also, back to bug out stuff or get home stuff, is that you can collect water with those things. So that's a little different. Now, here are some things that you might not have thought about. Now, this is for extended kind of emergency prep stuff. So health and hygiene. Do you have a very basic first aid kit? Well-stocked first aid kit to, minor cuts, maybe some burns, just minor stuff. That stuff works okay. In those little things. I mean, of course, not, there's no, it's not like having a gunshot kit, in your pack. I have a tourniquet kit. I have all that kind of stuff in my truck, so I can have say for example, if I roll up on a crash, which has happened to me before, and there's a kit, there's a tourniquet, there's a blood, quick-clot kit that I have in there, if you run up on, and this has happened to me, we ran up on a motorcycle crash. It was bad. And I was the first one on the scene. I jumped out. The wife and kids were in the truck, and he rolls off. This is off on the highway, and he rolled off. He hit a sign, and he's off in the grass, right? I go up to him, and I'm trying to get I'm trying to talk to him. He's on his back. He's looking up. I can't see through his shield, but I can kind of see his he's trying to say something. I don't know what it was, but, I'm trying to keep him calm. And then other drivers pulled up. Right. And luckily one of these other drivers, she was a nurse, and I had all the stuff in the truck, and I wanted to take his helmet off, at least undo it, because it was kind of, the strap was on his neck, on his throat, and I don't know if he could breathe or not. And, I said, hey, loosen that strap. And she's like, no, don't touch him. Don't touch him. And, we're looking for physical injuries. He had none that we could see from the outside. There was no bleeding. We didn't know what was going on the outside either. It was a very crazy situation. I did not like it. But I had all that stuff in my truck for a bleed or a, like I said, tourniquet or a quick-clot kit. I have that stuff. But for this guy, I could have cut that strap, or I just could have, I don't know, unclipped it. I don't know whatever happened to the guy, because, eventually the ambulance came. Eventually there was other people around. It was horrible, you guys. I didn't like it. But I have worked on people, whether it was camping or, small scrapes and bumps. And, a friend of mine, he hit himself in the hand with an axe. When we had 3 to 4 different families up camping with all the kids and everything, and he was splitting wood, and it got loose from him, and he hit his thumb right here. And, everybody's of course running around all crazy. And, I was able to get it cleaned and, get the blood stopped and get it all stitched, not stitched, but, I used on him. I think I used, tape. Yeah, I used some tape, just some tape. So, grab one side of the cut and pulled it over after I cleaned it and stick it on the other side. Super glue always works in a bind. I like that. Super, what's it called? Yeah, that clear stuff. Super glue, I guess. And that works great. So you can think about those kind of things to add into your first aid kit. Again, for me, I do this because I'm in that situation a lot with the kind of work we do, snow plowing, and out in the public all the time and doing these kind of things. If I can't administer some of the stuff to somebody, at least I have it with me in the truck for somebody who might be able to administer on site, on a crash, whatever it is. But typically I'm usually pulling people out of ditches or getting them out of the way so I can get to the job, so I can get my work done. So that's kind of my setup of where I'm coming from. So, Music Lover says her dad's hand slipped once and he got a big splinter chopping kindling, 3 to 4 stitches. Oh yeah. A lot of fun there. Let me see. Toilet paper or wipes for personal hygiene needs in case you become stranded. Yes. Very important. I always keep that kind of stuff in the truck too. There's always towels, and I have packs of those, wipes and whatever, what do you call them? You clean your hands with them, and all that stuff is in there. You never know if somebody's going to need it. You might roll up on a scene where somebody needs that stuff. Hand warmers. Yep. I keep the hand warmers in there. Prescription meds. I don't have any prescription meds, but, it talks about having, and you have adequate supply of necessary prescription medications. Now, things that I will carry in my pack that I always with me, even summertime, there is, like I'll have, aspirins, and, not for myself, but to give to people if they need it. I have this little first aid pack that has all these gels in there, burn stuff. I have, is there any room left in the truck for you? Yeah, I'm telling you, where we go one, we go all. It's a Super Duty. It's a Ford Super Duty truck. And, I pretty much all these trucks nowadays have it in the back seat. those seats flip up, and there is mad storage in there, right? And plus, these trucks have all these compartments all over the place. Mad storage in there. It's great. I love it. Plus, my pack that sits it's in the back seat, and it's strapped in, and it's ready to go. Plus, on the back of the seats, on the front seats, I have these. I don't know what they're tactical backs is what they are, and they can be. You can put a lot of stuff in there. Mine will hold 2 rifles, from seat to seat. Plus all these other pockets, so you can put gloves in there and drinks in there and whatever else you want. It's crazy. These things are awesome. It's like the whole. it's kitted out is what I'm saying. The truck, but it's all the stuff that. To help people get out of a situation or help myself get out of a situation. I don't know. I'm not, I like to be prepared for this kind of things. Good point. Music Lover says alcohol-based wet wipes won't freeze. They'll be cold, but they won't freeze. Yeah, that is a good one. TBA says, sounds like women have been helping to design the trucks if they have mad storage places all over. Yeah, maybe so. But I'll tell you who helps design trucks too is guys like me who are out there in the middle of the night working on out of them, working from these things. You know what it's like, Darren, if you're still out there. He's another plow driver. When you're out there in the middle of the night, it's like you're the lone ranger out there. Say it's 2, 3 in the morning on a Tuesday and you're out there. All you see is other plow trucks and either police cars, and that's usually it. And the cold wind, and all you can do is stay busy and wait for that sun to come up. But that's us all year out there, or all winter out there. That's just part of it. It's a completely different mindset, man. I really enjoy being out there, plowing snow and all that stuff. Yeah, Shelly, you're talking about keeping a little bit of snow or kitty litter for snow and a blanket if stranded. I don't have a first aid kit. You need to invest. I wonder if we should do more of this kind of stuff on the show. Or just do it as we're doing it right now, because this stuff is really good. Yeah, you don't want to be packed up like a hoarder, but you want it to be organized. You guys have all been camping, I'm sure, right? You go camping, or you're planning for a trip or on vacation. You know how you organize all your stuff and everything fits in there. That's basically how we take care of the truck situation. Everything has its spots and everything is practical, but in a lot of redundancy too, because like Fix-A-Flat. All right. I keep Fix-A-Flat in the truck. Plus I have the onboard, the air compressor. Okay. You never know. Yeah. Vaseline and cotton balls, all that stuff works good. They're great for starting fires and things. I do that a lot in my barn. If I build the fires all the time in the wood stove over there. So, a real quick one is Vaseline. Here's a good one. You guys can try this. This has nothing to do. It's not related to, the winter vehicle prep, but it's fun. Keep a whole bunch of your toilet paper rolls. When it's empty, just keep that, put them in boxes. Then take the lint out of your drying machine, your washer and dryer, take the lint out of there and stuff each one. You can put a little bit of Vaseline in there and stuff it in there. And it's easy to light, easy to start a fire with. That's a perfect kindling. Where We Go One says, do you think you could survive being stranded for a couple days in freezing weather with what you have in the truck? That's a good question, and I've often thought about it a lot. Now, if I was going to be in the situation where we get far away, okay, if we get far away from home, food, yeah, I'm fine with that. I don't need the food, like meals, but I do have these nutrition packs that are in there that are 2,000 calorie blocks equivalent, and I have a bunch of those in my pack. For enough for 4 people for a couple days. I'm sure it tastes excellent, delicious, right? But there will keep you alive. Water, yes, I have water. If there's snow that I need to melt water, I can make fire because I have a fire kit in there too. I'm just trying to think worst case scenarios. A couple days in freezing weather with that truck. the hardest part is going to be heat and not freezing to death. If it's a diesel, so it will just sit there and idle for, I don't know, it might idle for 2-3 days, 4 days maybe. But I'm the situation you're talking about. I'm thinking there's probably no power to the truck, so we can't run and get. Boy, I don't know. That's a tough question. If the truck is running, yes, I'll be fine. If the truck is not running and I'm out in the cold, well, then you're talking a whole different set of scenario. You're talking about trying to build a fire, trying to signal for people, trying to not freeze to death. So that's a good question. It's something we should all think about. But if you're putting yourself in that kind of situation where you're going to be out of, quote, civilization for that long, then I would definitely pack for, I would probably have firewood in the truck. So I don't know. I guess there's a couple ways around that. I'm sure there's a worst case scenario of it. I would not give up. I'll tell you that in 2 days. No, I would not give up. All right. Let's get back to, we have vehicle specific stuff. Did we say jumper cables already? I don't think we did. So I'm jumping back to that. We said ice scraper, snow brush, brooms and chains and, straps, things like that. But, really good right there. Music lover. I always say this to my kids and wife. If you, no matter what, you guys, when you get to your fuel tank gets to half, even in the summer, I do this to top it off. I make a habit. Every Monday morning, I am at the station topping off fuel. It doesn't matter where my needle is. I don't even care about that. I just top off fuel in all the equipment every Monday morning without fail. I'm always doing it. I don't wait till the end of the week because usually prices go up towards the end of the week and on the weekend, but they'll drop Monday, Tuesday, somewhere in there. Just pennies. I mean, I'm sure it's not that big, but you know what I'm saying? So, yes, half a tank, consider that an empty, especially in the wintertime, especially depending on where you live. If you're kind of rural, and you're not around people, like a million cars like you are in a city, just think about that. So, yeah, keep that thing going. Jumper cables. I really like jumper cables. I suggest the heavy gauge. If you can go to 12 or 10 gauge and 16 feet. That's what I carry in my truck. I've had these jumper cables since I was a teenager. I love them. They will go as long as my truck. So I can reach somebody from the back or the front. Or I can be reached. In these trucks, there's 2 batteries. So, that gives you a little option too. I can go, either side of the truck to get to whatever it takes. But I would suggest a 12, no shorter than 12. But if you can do a 16-foot jumper cables, do that in real thick gauge. That's what you want. You don't want these toys and these kits that come and, Menards has these kits and everything. All that stuff is just junk. You'll try to grab on something and something's going to break. And it's just, shiny, clean junk is usually what that stuff is. For tools, I usually don't mess around with tools, you guys. I try to buy top quality I can. Not everything is Snap-on, but I try to if I can. Milwaukee, a lot of Craftsman. I do buy some of the cheaper things, and I'll put those kind of tools in a pack that I'm not going to, a life and death situation, right? I might just have to go run back to my big toolboxes to get my other stuff. So, where are we at? Funnel. Do you guys like funnels? Maybe it's a dude thing, but I tell you what, I like funnels, knives and flashlights. They drive me crazy. I don't know what it is. I think they do with Outcast too. I think we've talked about this before, but funnels, oh my gosh, you should see the funnels that I have, you guys. I have metal ones, plastic ones. I have my grandpa's ones. I have these new ones. I have the long, skinny ones, the big, wide ones, the handles, no handles, the ones that I'm telling you, there's something about funnels, small hole, big hole ones. I mean, different speed, filtered funnels. I have filtered funnels, non-filtered funnels. I like funnels. If you run out of gas, I noticed this on these new cars. They have these onboard funnels, because you can't just take a can directly and stick it in the tank. It's crazy. I never thought of that. Like my truck, I can just open up and shove stuff down in there. But these new vehicles, I can't even shove the nozzle of a gas can in there. So luckily, now this happened to my daughter. She made it home one night, and she had to go somewhere in the morning. And guess what? She didn't go get fuel the next morning. That thing was on E, and the light was on. I was like, oh gosh, I can't do anything for you. I can't take it, but I can give you I've had 5 gallons of gas in the back of my truck. I said, I'll give you this 5 gallons of gas. Let's throw it in there. So I flipped the door open, tried to pour it in, and it would not fit in there. And I'm spilling gas all over. I was like, what is this? So come to find out, I flipped the inside, the rear gate thing where the spare tire is. There's a little funnel in there. It's a little plastic. It doesn't even look like a funnel. It's like almost like a plastic tube. Well, you take that and you shove that in there, and it opens a little gas door. And then you pour into that with your tank, with your gas can. It was nuts. But anyway, I found out more about those. A lot of these vehicles today have that. Which is what I'm saying is you might want to throw one of those things in your kit. Even if your vehicle does not take it, what if you get somewhere and there's cars all around and none of them have, they have fuel in there. You need fuel and you can't get into their gas tanks. What are you going to do? Well, these little funnel things make put one of those in there and then put your siphon hose in there. Again, emergency situation use only. But that's what I'm talking about. Documentation and navigation. Now, I'm a map guy. I like maps. I have a map in all the vehicles around here. Local maps, county maps. And yeah, people are always going to, hang on. Here's Darren. Darren, he's a friend of mine. He is he's out there too. he's a plow truck driver. He says, I always carry 5-10 gallons of fuel. You never know. Map, gas, big pry bar. Yeah, NOCO, jump starter box. Yep, got that too. Salt, spike, pain meds. It's all in there somewhere. Yeah, we have the same stuff. He says, funny, always filling the girls' cars with my cans. Yeah. If you can stick the can nozzle in and force it in, you'll mess up the sensor. $400 mistake. Yikes. Yeah, I don't like that. Ms. Melody likes flashlights, knives, and different stoves. Oh, I'm into these small stoves too, and I've got a bunch of them. I like these small stoves. Yeah, I'm into that stuff too. I have cooking stoves, and you should see my Coleman collection. I have Coleman stuff, you guys. Do you see that Coleman lantern behind me right here? That's a 200A. It's red. That one's from 1978, I think. I've got one that's a 1951. It's awesome. I've got a few other ones from the 1950s as well. But I've got a bunch of those, and I've got a bunch of Coleman stoves too. What else do I have in that? Wood stoves. I have these little wood stoves, these little black steel wood stoves. Yeah, it's crazy. Small rocket stoves, biolights. Yeah. Fire maple, which is like a jet boil. Yep. I've got all those too. And they're so much fun. We used to camp a lot back in the day. Not as much anymore because the kids are older. But, I like that kind of stuff. You know what it is, I think, you guys, is self-reliance, right? I'm always self-reliance based. I've always have been. Always relying on myself to get myself out of situations if I can. And I think is because younger, having those old cars when we grew up back in the day, back in the 80s, right? Prepper hoarder. I would say organized prepper. Hoard. I've seen hoarding before, and that's kind of a disorganized disaster mess. I'm not with hoarder, no. More of organized, just prepared for anything, really. Camp. If you can prepare for camping, then you're pretty much prepared for anything. Solar charger. Yeah, I love or solar generator. Love that thing too. I think I lost my train of thought. Or was I? Oh, the prepper mindset. The definitely organized here. Yeah. You want to stay as organized as possible doing all this stuff because, in these situations, where we go one, he says, meant in the best possible light. Yeah. Yep. Basically it's being prepared for going camping on steroids, basically. And it's portable, transportable. You can take it with you. Again, there's stuff in my truck. If we don't take my truck somewhere, all I do is grab my pack that's in there and I throw it in the vehicle that we're taking. That way it's always ready to go. You know what I'm saying? It's always ready to go. So it's happened before where, we've taken somebody else's car up north. And I said, oh, let me go get this pack out of my truck and I'll just throw it in the back. We never had to use it, but we had it with us. And that's peace of mind, big time peace of mind. Because if something goes wrong and you're out in the middle of the highway and there's nobody around, chances are there's a lot of stuff in that's going to help us, relax, be at ease a bit. Okay. Let me see here. Let's get over to, so we're talking about maps for documentation and navigation. Physical maps. Yes, I do like physical maps. We all use the maps on our phone. We all used to use, what was that stuff we used to print out when we go to trips? But anyway, my fallback has always been the paper maps, the unfoldable, or the books. Those are great. Those are great for getting around town, doing all kinds of things, right? In situations, I like to combine the map with a CB. Now I have ham, so I can listen. I don't have my license for that, so I can't transmit unless we're under a emergency situation. Yes, MapQuest. MapQuest is what we used to use like crazy all the time back in the day. But what if your phone or a satellite or something just stops working? We know that's happened before to us. What if it goes back? What if it's a big setup? You never know. So I always be prepared. But I like maps too. I like old maps. You guys, I love maps. I have topographical maps. I have a lot of local stuff here. That way I know what's around. And then I compare that to satellite. So I'll do all that kind of stuff. It's just fun. It's another interest, like propane things. Where We Go One says, I have a small camping stove that uses those really small bottles of propane. I bought a converter so I can use big propane. Yeah, I've got plenty of those too. I have way more than I need of this stuff. I don't know how I ended up with all these things, but gas grill now I have a 250 gallon pig that is over there on my barn. I have a 100 gallon tank for job site stuff. And I have probably 6 or 8 grill size, the 20 pound tanks. And I rotate all of those all the time because you never know. It's another form of energy and we all need energy. So propane, and it's always good to have. Now, those little green ones, those little Coleman green things, those little 1 pound. Yeah, you can refill them even though they say you aren't supposed to. Right. So don't refill them. But if you do, get the adapter with the hose on it. Now I have 2 kinds. I have the adapter that is hard. It's a little brass adapter, and you screw one into the propane can, the big with a 20 pounder, and then you screw in your green tank. That one works okay, but I like the one that has the hose on it. It's about a foot long hose on it, and one end goes into it hooks up the same way, but it's more flexible. You can get out of the way. It's a little more forgiving. Okay. So if you're going to get the converter from your big tank to your little 1 pounders, get the adapter that has a hose to it. You'll appreciate me later. You can purge those little ones before you fill them. Purge them. Push that little thing down. There's a little vent on the side. You can push it down with a key or a screwdriver or something. Push that in there and you got to purge that gas out. Put it in the freezer 15 minutes. Take it out of the freezer, hook up your adapter, and get your close to 1 pound back into your tank, and you're done. That's it. That's how you do it. It's that easy. So do that. But kerosene, I burn kerosene. I have a couple shop heaters out there that run kerosene. I have another Coleman lantern like this one here, but it's one of the green ones that runs on propane or kerosene. I really like kerosene stuff. It's a little harder to get now. It's almost like a lot of these stations don't carry them anymore. But there's a couple in town that I go to that I fill them up. And you know what's funny is just a few weeks ago, I did all my propane and my kerosene, and I topped off. I got more fat wood. I buy these bags of fat wood. They're pretty cheap. They go on sale for $4 for like 5 pounds of fat wood, and I'll use those for easy fire starting. And big lighters. I'll just go buy a bunch. You know, you can buy like, I don't know, 10 of them for $2 or something. Easy. Then you know, we also have the flint and steel and all that stuff, but you know, that stuff's more difficult. Be easy on yourself. You can do all that stuff in your challenges and all that stuff, but if you want to get stuff done, again, have multiple ways of getting fire, getting heat, getting all these things that you want to do. Always multiple situations. Lastly here, you guys, on documentation and navigation, emergency contact information. You know, keep a list of all your emergency contact numbers, including local tow services, roadside assistance, and family members. I know those phone numbers are going to be in your phone, but what happens if you can't find your phone? What if you're in a crash? Your phone is gone. What if, I don't know, you hit water, the phone is underwater? What if it got smashed up and beat up in a crash? What if you stepped on it? Okay, careful. You got to have a list. You might have to walk to a house over here that's nearby from where your vehicle is. If you have these numbers written down, you can, you know, right from there. I would suggest putting all of the numbers that you want, that you should have locally to where you live, plus your family members, plus emergency, your insurance, all these things. Type them out and print them, and make a little booklet and keep them inside your vehicle with you. Okay. That's another fallback. In case your phone for some reason is not available to you, you will have those written in, you know, whether printed or handwritten. Very smart to do that. Where we go on says, does kerosene ever go bad? No. I'm going to say no, never. I have 15 gallons in 3 5-gallon cans that I've had for many years, save for emergencies. What I would do, I've got one back there that's probably 20 years old. There's nothing wrong with that. Diesel hardly goes bad. Kerosene hardly goes bad. Propane, these things are almost forever type fuels. Where gasoline, yeah, that does go bad. It has more of a shelf life. The gasoline that I'd like to use for my smaller engines is the non-ethanol. It's 90%. There's no ethanol, or 90 octane, no ethanol. This modern gas stuff now is with this ethanol added. You know, sometimes they used to put on those stickers on the machines, on the pumps, 10%. And then I think I saw 15%. Well, now there's something happened a couple years ago where they don't have to even list it now. So you might be getting some gas that might be 20% ethanol. And that's not good. That's not good on them carburetor the gaskets and all the inner workings of carburetor stuff. That's what eats those up in those little machines. That's why I always run clean 90 octane non-ethanol fuel for all my small engines. The bigger, you know, the cars, those carburetors and things on the cars, those injection systems, they can handle it better, right? But not the smaller engines. So remember that too, you guys. That's also, it's a winter equipment prep right there. You know, whether you're running snow blowers or chainsaws or mixed gas for, you know, things, blowers, whatever you have that you guys like to use. Try to remember to keep ethanol is going to help you. Ask me how I know. I stopped using that, you know, regular gasoline in these things years ago, and I've been good ever since. You know, carburetors are staying together. You know, they're not failing as much, but, you know, keep an eye on all that stuff. So basically what we did today, you guys, and, you know, I see you guys all out there still. Hang on, let me put this on. I want to see. Do you guys have anything for me that you want to ask? Because we did this whole thing just now about winter vehicle prep and also the personal preparation stuff for cold weather. I would like to add a few things in before we go. I'm looking at the chats, and I don't see a whole lot of movement. Are you guys still with me? I see that pill.net has disconnected and reconnected and disconnected like 20 times. And I don't know if Facebook is still messing with us or not. But are you going to do these morning shows on a regular basis? Yeah, I'm thinking Thursdays, 10 a.m. in addition to the Monday night show. Now, if you were here in the beginning of this, Outcast, he couldn't make it today because his work wouldn't allow. He's in some meetings and stuff, so he couldn't get away, and that's fine. We're trying to pave this road as we go. So let me look here. Where am I? Music lover, what was I looking for? I was just looking for something. Okay, I'm going to check the Facebook chats, the YouTube chats. Yep, you guys are all good there. Rumble rants, any Rumble stuff, and Pilled. I don't know what's going on with Pilled, but that's acting silly. All right, so here's the deal, you guys. Let me check my list. I have some things here that I want to go over with you guys. I said it's Thursday morning and we are kicking off an hour-ish long show. Let's see how it goes. Glad to have you here. Please jump into the live chats and be a part of the show. You guys can also call in. That's right. Here's the phone number for the show. It's 248-238-8155. If you want to call in right now and add anything you want, do it. Talk to me. The phone line is open right now and I have it available. So if you want to call in, do that. If you want to add to the show or anything that we talked about, do that. I also have, let me go to my list today. I have morning coffee. This is my Bulletproof Coffee, you guys. This is what I drink every day. It's my, what do we like to use? I'm sensitive a little bit to caffeine. Yeah. So what I found is that if I have organic coffee, it doesn't mess with my, heartburn, or it's some sort of a goofy pain right there. Well, if I drink coffee that is just organic coffee, I never have that. I'm not a heartburn guy, right? But some people are. Well, anyway, every day I make Bulletproof Coffee, which is my regular coffee, some butter like you would put on toast, grass-fed butter, and MCT oil with it, which is basically coconut oil, but it comes in the oil form, MCT, and my raw milk, raw cream that I get from the Amish. That's it. That's Bulletproof Coffee. It's really good. It's slippery, very slippery on the lips. It gives it a thicker, richer flavor. I don't know how to explain it. You say it might not be. No, I don't think it's the caffeine. You're right. I think there's mold, the mold on some beans in some batches or something. But with this one, it's clean. It's good. I don't have that anymore. So maybe it's not the caffeine. You're right. It's the mold that could be on these beans somewhere. But the stuff I use, perfect. It doesn't work. It doesn't hurt me at all. And I think actually this is, we use Newman's Organic and then we use Death Wish. And Death Wish is sold at Meijer, and that's an organic. And I think the names are goofy because of Black Rifle and all that stuff. Now we used to Black Rifle a lot, but that stuff would give me the heartburn, so I had to stop. And with that, so boss came to chat. Am I glitching out or did we end? Boss man came to chat. No, we didn't stop. We're still here. Anyway, so that's what I'm drinking today, and every day is my Bulletproof Coffee. Let's see here. I have, smoke detectors. All right. So you guys, this is the time of year, December and July. July and December. Check your smoke detectors, right? Check your batteries. If you have batteries, if they're the hard wired ones, hit the test button, test those things out. Okay. You want to find out in the middle of the night at 2:30 in the morning that, you got to change the batteries or it doesn't work or whatever it is. It's worth it. Every 6 months, check your batteries, hit that test button, and make sure your smoke detectors are working properly. If you guys want to hit that like, please do that. Hit that like and throw any comments because that's what we need for whoops. That's what we need for the algorithms. Man, I'm so sick of the algorithm stuff here. They just won't let us be free and be out there, right? So if you want to, please like and comment. You guys can do that stuff. Also, I've been asked by some people, hey, we want to see something for support, direct support on the show. So that's this right here. Buy me a coffee. Look at that thing. So there's a buy me a coffee. If you guys want, leave a tip or whatever that is, you can do that there. That way, we have some things that we might be adjusting here in the future. Not sure yet, but this today is the first step in all these things. Interaction. Thank you, Ms. Melody, is essential to make the algorithms happy. And no, I know it's crazy. It's crazy. So even if you afterwards too, after the live, like on YouTube, for example, on Rumble, on Facebook, and all these things, Pill.net is really good with that. They are not really running algorithms on these things, but these big major platforms, these big corporate major ones, they do. They like throttling people, man. It's very annoying. I'm going through my list of things that I want to talk about on this episode 240, Rise and Shine. By the way, you guys, I've been running this music. I don't know why, because it's morning, because it's coffee, rise and shine time. Can you hear the music in the background? Or is it just me that can hear it? Tell me what you think. So let me see. I have ideas for this show, right? There's a bunch of ideas that we are going to work out on this show for, Outcast, myself. Look at that. I'm over on time. It's supposed to be an hour. Where we go once says you should replace your detectors every 10 years anyway. So getting one with a 10-year life battery is perfect. Those 10-year life batteries, a lot of that stuff, you got to be careful. They're not real 10-year life batteries. I've ran into some that are 5-year. they're dead in 5, right? I think a lot of that stuff could be marketing. So just be careful with those. At least test them. You can go up there and push your button, make sure they're testing, or sometimes there's the light. But yeah, I see what you're saying. You can also test them by actually getting some smoke up there, and test them that way with some paper and figure it out. But whatever. Okay, yeah, you can hear the music. So this is my morning coffee music, I guess. Right? I don't know what else to call it. Again, we're experimenting. We're here having a good time, trying to figure this all out for a Thursday morning broadcast. Thursday morning rise and shine. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet. There's a bunch of different names, but yep, I have a few different music bets, and I have the intro. Let me go back to this intro page and see if you guys check this out. You guys that are watching live, the ones that were here in the beginning, you saw it, and there's one more that I'm going to be using, but I haven't prepared it yet for the show. But it's this one right here. Look at that. So this right here was my first thought of this show. Oh, for the Rise and Shine Thursday show. Yeah, burnt toast will work. Yeah, burn some toast and give that up there. So this is the Rise and Shine show right here. This was my first screen, and I just used this in the intro. That's all that is. For the audio people, what you're looking at, or what I'm describing here, what I'm looking at, and also in the chat, we're on top of a mountain. The sun is kind of breaking through the clouds. There are pine trees and beautiful spruce trees looking down the mountain. You can see a further mountain down across the valley in the distance. But right where we're at, there's a stump and there's a fire pit and there's coffee brewing in this cozy fire. That's, a stone fire pit that somebody made. And there's a cup, a mug of coffee sitting over there on the stump. It's just a nice little setting. I know it's more of a dude thing, I think. But to me, I'm digging that is what I'm saying. It's really nice. So that's the opening I used for the show. And then I came over to this screen. I made the screen here. And this probably says more morning. It's the orange glow, the sunrise. It's in a field of sunflowers. And you can barely see the sunflowers, but you see their silhouette. So you see that silhouette of sunflowers? You guys dig that or what? I can take myself out of here for a second. Let's see here. I'll take myself out for a second. You get the... Yeah. Isn't that cool? So does that speak morning to you, for the guys out there, for you, or for the people watching? Does that give you a full morning time feel or not? It does to me. Anyway, that's that. So, I'm just checking over. I know I got to get going out of here. I'm still okay. So here's some things, you guys, that we're going to be doing, that we will be doing for this show. Again, I'm trying to keep it to an hour. We're beyond that today. Music Lover says, you do pick good background pictures. You know what is important about that, Music Lover, is I know what I'm looking for. Actually, no, the first step in picking these things is there's a feeling that I want, that I'm after, right? There's a visual feeling that I'm after. And to get that visual feeling, I close my eyes and I think what gives that visual, that feeling to me, whether it's a fire pit, whether it's the ocean, whether it's being in the woods, whether it's fog, whatever I'm feeling, that's what I go out there and I look for those, copyright free videos like this one right here. And I find them and I'll do a little crop, or I'll do a little something to them and then put our logo on there and then I loop it. And because I think it gives, if I'm feeling it that way, I'm hoping you guys do too. That's what I'm looking for, is for you guys to feel the same thing. So, yeah, that's a good summer morning, but we're heading into crisp winter. I know. I can always go back to, well, once Christmas is over, you guys are going to see the classic, nighttime sky, the blue sky. That's our main theme. That one's coming back. But just for, we've been doing this for years. With these different screens. I really enjoy all these different screens, but our other one will come back after Christmas, like I said. Do you guys remember last year? I think this is it. My Christmas scene. I want to show you guys my Christmas scene from last year. Here we go. Oh, I can't find it. Hold on. It's looking. You know why I can't find it is because I moved it to a hard drive. So you guys aren't going to be able to see it. But this is my main one right here. No. All right. We'll save that for later. But, okay, let's get back here and let's wrap the show up. We are going to be talking in this show about this kind of stuff. Fire or, self-reliant mindset kind of things. Instagram saves, Twitter bookmarks that I have, fasting, health and fitness, a man's counsel. This one is almost what I was going to start with, the man's counsel. It's men talking with other men about families and about doing, manly things. And it's a show where I think of course the women will appreciate. It's about men being the right, I don't want to say role model, but the right, it's the man's counsel, you guys. That's all I can tell you right now. That's a thought that's in my head. We'll develop that more. Okay. We'll develop that a lot more. Culture type of stories, stories that are within our culture, whether good, bad, ugly, culture stuff from Europe, things that are becoming here, strange things too. We might even be talking about our mystery pie stuff on this. But I'm thinking that these shows are probably going to be more of a one topic show, no commercial breaks like we have in the Monday night show. The beginning of this was different for you guys that were here. The whole beginning, the intro was a little bit different. Of course, we have Genjo, and she right here, like this stuff.
Hold on tight, Patriots. The road is going to be a bumpy one.
So we did that in the beginning. So you guys probably heard that, who were, the ones that were here around. So that's what the show is going to be about. Current events kind of stuff. These kinds of preparation type of things, seasonal stuff. If there's some things that you guys also want to hear, let me know. Put it down. I would say, advise you guys to go to Discord. The Discord link is down below. Go there, check that out. And, do we have a spot over there, Music Lover, for any of this that we can put some of this stuff into? Oh, I see Ms. Melody put the wool sock link into the Discord over on the Dangerous chat. Excellent. Thank you. I don't know. See what you think of Music Lover when you get a chance, when you hear this. If there's something we can set up over there for ideas for the Thursday morning show. But I've got a bunch here that I already put out there, and I'd like to hear from some of you guys. And also, I wanted to make this a call-in show too. So again, the number's out there for next time, 248-238-8155. And that can be used to leave a voicemail. So if you guys want to leave voicemails for us, that number is always live. And when I get back into the studio and I look, and if there's any voicemails, hey, I can play them for the show. There's also some new things that I'm going to do with our stream elements that, we've been using for a couple years now. It's going to be able to read your live chats automatically on the show. It'll just, when you make a super chat, it'll just boom, it'll just say it. So it gets read by a voice. And that could be fun. It could be embarrassing. It could be hilarious. It could be all the things, but that'd be a good one. I'll see if I can get that activated over the weekend, see if we can get it ready for Monday night show. Coming up on Monday, the 15th. Is that right? Is the 15th on Monday? Let me look real quick. They work together. She's an author. She's got a lot of stuff, and I think some of you guys have heard of her, but she's really good. Music Lover says, this has been really fun. I need to actually get some work done around here. Yeah. Well, you're going to be able to, because I'm getting ready to get out of here. How Men Be Manly 101. Yeah, something like that. It's the man's council is what I'm going to call it, I think. On the 21st, December 21st, which is a Sunday, that's going to substitute our Monday show, but we have Paul Stobbs on. He's the guy, the author, of the Nephilim or Clowns book. So clowns are Nephilim. Nephilim are clowns. And he's got so much evidence, you guys, to support his theory on Nephilim being clowns and where clowns came from. The idea of clowns. Why are so many people scared of clowns? Talks about the red hair, the big feet, talks about the polka dots and all those colors, where the big giant smile from ear to ear grin. All that stuff from clowns to Nephilim is related. It's crazy, but he's coming on the 21st. That's the week that kicks off Christmas. So, like I said last week, we have shows kind of bouncing all around. We're trying to keep it's tough it's always tough in December. Because so many people are traveling, so many of our guests are doing different things. So we're trying to do it. But Karen Wilkinson on the 15th, Paul Stobbs on the 21st. The other two Mondays I still are in the works. So we're working on those things. But either way, it'll be Outcast and myself here on Mondays. I think that's it, you guys. I think we have to say good day, sir. Let me look and see. I'm just checking out the everything else. See, I didn't forget anything. I am fasting today. Yes. Tuesdays and Thursdays I fast. I'm so used to it now that I enjoy it and I look forward to it. And I know how to keep myself busy without getting, hungry. And it works. I love it. So if you guys, we can add that into the hopper later too, if you want. So that's it, you guys. Let's, I'm looking at everything here, see if there's any more Rumble Rants or gold pills, and I see 0 of them. But hey, I understand what you're talking about. Music Lover, she says, put it under iron sharpens iron. Let me go take a look over here on the Rumble real quick. Iron sharpens iron. We can make a specific men's and women's only chats. Well, that's up to you if you want something like that. I mean, I still think that women are going to want to see the stuff that we're talking about and hear what we're talking about. Where is this one at? I see moon landing, media symbolism, CERN and HARP, Bitcoin and crypto. I'm talking about on Discord, you guys. Paranormal. Show resources. Is it under there? No. Gold and silver? No. Preparedness, health, and homestead. Oh, here it is right here. Iron sharpen iron. Bible, prayer, fasting, discipleship. Excellent. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Good to go. Let's go on and say our goodbyes because we have to go, you guys. It is time to exit this fine Thursday is what I'm saying. So I want you guys to thank you for hanging out today. If you like what you heard, hey, hit that 5 or, if you're thinking about becoming a sponsor, is what I'm saying, you can do that by all these different options that we have listed down below, and you can become a sponsor if the situation fits. All right. You can also buy me a coffee if that situation fits. It's up to you guys, but you can at least tell your friends, your parents, your whatever about the show. Have them come over here, have them listen. We enjoy having you guys here. It's always fun, you guys. It's always fun having you guys around, and it's fun doing this stuff. So we're trying to do more of this stuff. Thanks to you guys in the chat room, and the chatters, our monthly supporters. Thanks to all you guys out there so much. We always look forward to having you guys here on a monthly basis. Music lover, thanks again for being out there. Trusty Turnup in the pill.net. Jack Pine Savage working today. He couldn't make it during the day, obviously. Ms. Melody, I think you're out there. Good night or good day. Yeah, this was fun. I liked it. So thanks for everybody. Hicktown, I remember. I don't know if Ice Sun made it, but Where We Go One, yes, thank you so much. Darren, thank you so much for being out there. Awesome. Ms. Wait. Shelly Pollock. I'm looking for some more. There's that crazy Bob Marie Locke. Yes, thank you guys. It was fun. Hey, I liked it. Let's do this again sometime, all right? We're going to have a good one. So, listen, I'm going to release a scratching over here on the gold pills on pill.net. There that goes. Join us live here every Monday night, you guys, 7 p.m., 7 to 9-ish, something like that, all right? Listen, don't be threatened by the mainstream media. They have those fear campaigns, all right? They're running against you. Also, rescue those in darkness around you. Do not comply with unjust laws, mandates, or regulations, and trust your gut, because that's God talking to you guys, all right? We'll see you on Monday night. Check us out over on Instagram. Keep an eye on our updates over there. I might do a little something that's in my truck. Who knows? We'll see. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Enjoy it. We'll see you guys. God bless and good night, everybody.